Everyone, Adam here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. I am a little behind on getting videos rendered and stuff because of the holidays, so I apologize. This is a few versions of the game back before the new textures came out and everything, and there's going to be a few episodes where the textures are broken, and then we'll be all caught up. I'm going to try to get everything rendered out today. It's January 3rd today, so I don't know when this will end up going up, but I had a chaotic 2 weeks, like a lot of people do, between Christmas and New Year. So, anyway, back to it. We are working on the mining ship. This is that platform that we're converting into a ship. It is a ship now. Right now I'm working on coming up with a way to dispose of all the stone and other undesirables that we end up getting. Because basically we don't want the cargo bays filling up with stone. That's what's been happening. And I wanted to experiment with pistons just because it seems like it'd be fun. And we have the ejector starting to go. It's just going to be dropping off stone. And I think there's a couple million kilograms of stone on here, so that's probably going to take a little while. Yeah, the piston just makes it more interesting, but I will probably end up removing the piston in the future because, well, the ship already has a bunch of pistons on it, and pistons just kind of lead to trouble, so minimizing pistons is probably a good idea. Looks weird to see the old textures. The ship is very McDonald's looking with the yellow and the red. But yeah, they just gonna drop far enough behind the ship that they don't really cause any problems for anybody. I'm gonna add a couple more ejectors I think are gonna be needed so we can really pick up the pace because it's only dropping a few hundred kilograms at a time, and we are going to have many hundreds of thousands and even millions of kilograms to deal with. The idea is we'll park somewhere, get the drills fired up, collect the stuff we want, leave this just on the whole time we're going, and hopefully it will keep dumping stuff and kind of keep the cargo bays empty enough that we get iron and stuff instead of stone. It's a very pleasant sound. I like it. So, we got 3 of them up and running to increase our production here. And it's making a pretty big pile of stone. It's probably bad to get hit in the head with one, I would think. But we'll stand back. And I think I have the debris limit set to like 200, so they disappear pretty quickly. The drilling platform is doing its thing here. We are actually just at this point trying to see how far the piston can extend. I ended up kind of deciding, I think I had 5 or 6 pistons, and that was more than was necessary. So what we need to do is actually shorten this piston stock down because it will reduce the overall height of this ship, and it will also reduce probably the glitchiness potential of the ship as well. So there's really no good way to do this. I tried to end up bracing around this, hoping it would catch on, but each piston, the piston end extends the next block down below it a little bit down, so it's not in the same grid, and you get to the point where it just will not line up, and as we end up seeing, it just ends up dropping the piston down. It causes a fair amount of trouble for me, which is annoying. So the entire ship is kind of dominated by this core section here, obviously. This is really the nuts and the bolts of how the entire ship design goes. So the better we do with efficiency on this, the better. And at this point I have the game audio muted because I had music on and I didn't want to deal with copyright, so I apologize, there's no grinding sounds in the background. So this will all still be done by hand for the most part, which is kind of a pain because I'm using the realistic inventory. So I have 400 liters of storage, which is not very much, and I'm gonna have to build some sort of like gantry thing to even reach up there and grind the stuff I need to reach down. Because I still don't, ironically, with all the ice around, I still haven't bothered to deal with hydrogen production. You see I'm having a lot of trouble even placing blocks right now because of the vagaries of pistons. Alright, so get up here, grind off all this stuff. I still can't reach a lot of it. hydrogen on planets like without bottles is really just kind of annoying too. So I don't know. I still don't exactly like the new block placement system. I mean, I like the placement. I don't like the block selection, scrolling through the different uh, kinds of blocks on one thing. I kind of liked it better when I just had an armored ramp in like number 5 and just a cube in number 4 and stuff like that. It was a lot easier because I end up placing blocks by mistake that I don't want to all the time. Someday I suppose I'll get used to it, but I've been playing with it for a while now and I'm not used to it now, so I don't know. I think it's going to cause issues for me for a long time. I'm just like having no end of trouble there. And as you see here, I kind of cut ahead. The piston ended up falling down, which I kind of thought it would, but I was hoping it wouldn't. We have to come in here, and I have the welding ship here, so we're gonna have to go down and get the grinder ship over here too, and grind this thing down, rebuild it. And the main reason that we really have to do that is that the drills are very expensive in terms of parts right now, so I really need all the parts from the drills. And I'm just coming down here to inspect if there's any damage. It doesn't really look like there was, which is good. So yeah, we're gonna have to come back with the other ship and deal with this. Alright, so we're back with the grinder ship. Gonna go ahead and grind down those drills down there and fix that stuff because it's gonna be easier to work on while the ship is. If something goes wrong, I would like to do it while the ship is still, not fully assembled, I guess is what I mean to say. And something does end up going wrong. I've encountered a fair number of fun glitches. This is actually one that I found I thought was specific to pistons, but I've had it happen with other things too, near holes that have been mined out, where the game will just crash. It's like, nah, this is like out of the world somehow. When you try to actually interact with certain pieces, it's like, no, you can't do that. And one of these pistons evidently I think it's the extended one that actually caused it to happen. The one that was extended, yeah, just like, nah, game's gonna crash. Boom, game crash. So I decided to go a different route, which was to fly down here and manually just pick up the stuff because it seemed to let me interact that way and haul it out of the hole and grind it down, and that worked just fine for some reason. And I was a little bit surprised that this ship could actually pick up some of this stuff because it's big. I don't know how heavy it is. I mean, pistons don't have that much in it. The drills do. But yeah, this little guy managed to do it. I should probably build a ship that is like specifically for lifting stuff at some point, because I have a few salvage projects and stuff where it'd be easier to just cut the ship up into chunks and haul it back, but I don't know. But yeah, we're just going to haul these 2 chunks out here, get them ground up, rebuild the drill head, and we'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, we got the rotors replaced, we got the new drills on. It actually sits a little bit closer to the hull of the ship because like I was saying, those piston ends that add a little bit of distance. I don't know exactly how much. It seems like it's like a fifth of a block maybe worth. You can extend and retract it, but I think by default it seems to be about a quarter or a fifth of a block. And so since we removed a couple of pistons, the entire drill apparatus here kind of sits a little bit closer to the hull of the ship, which is good and bad. I don't think it's close enough that it's going to cause any problems. We do always need to remember to extend this a little bit before we start the rotor up. And as we get engines and stuff in place, that will probably have more stuff in the way. The general idea is that the engines just kind of tuck up. I mean, the drill just tucks up there for flight. Alright, so I realized that I really needed to get some modules going on and get my assemblers kind of sorted. So what I did is I rearranged the way the stuff down here works in the production room back at the base. So there are groups of 2 attached directly to each other, because as far as I understand, for them to work in cooperative mode, they need to actually be hooked up directly to each other. So we have done that, and we're just kind of extending out to about here. I think that, what is that, like 8 assemblers, and each one has every module slot that's available full, and that will really help get production going, because at some point, the concept, the main idea that we have here with this is that there's going to be either a cargo ship that comes out and picks up the cargo from this thing, or this whole ship is going to fly back to the main base and just dump the cargo off. So we're going to have 6 cargo containers, large cargo containers worth of ore potentially that needs to get processed, and then stuff that needs to get built. And everything that we build in space, I think, is pretty much going to be built with resources from the planet, just because for me, that makes sense. We'll do a little bit of asteroid mining, but I don't know. I kind of want this just to be my home base where most of the stuff gets done. And if I'm going through all the trouble of building this mining ship, by golly, I'm going to use it. I've never really tried to build something like this on the surface. This was kind of a different way to go. And I do know that I had crashed a few Steam Workshop ships. I just kind of sprinkled them about the planet. I don't know exactly where they are. I just was up in orbit, turned off their engines, spawned in some, turned off their engines, and let them fall where they may on the planet. So there are some Steam Workshop ships that I added for a little bit of fun, you know, make it seem like stuff had happened on this planet over time. We're not the only ones who ended up crashing down here. Maybe there's some sort of anomaly. Maybe they're just really old ships that have been here forever. Whatever the issue is. Just for a little bit of entertainingness, I like to have stuff like that around, because we don't have exploration ships down here on the planet, obviously, and we don't have the cargo ships, and I think there are pirate bases, but I haven't seen one yet. From what I understand, I think every planet has a few pirate bases on it, but I haven't seen one. I should probably build, I'm always saying that, I should probably build a ship. That's the answer to everything. Like, we should probably build a ship. We should build a little scout ship at some point that's kind of fast, long-range scout ship to just kind of go map out the area around here, because we're only going to detect them when we get in the antenna range, or spot it manually. So I guess we could build like a high altitude one, but it's kind of hard to see anything too. I mean, the planets are big, but they're not that big. It's got to be out there somewhere. I would very much like to find a pirate base, but who knows. And what we're doing now, since we got the antenna online, is I'm using the scan mod to get an idea. We have a few things within range, but I did not set the antenna range far enough. Get the azimuth of where this debris is, and if it's more than a few kilometers away, then it's probably one of those ships, or it could be a pirate base. But we've kind of vaguely figured out that we got a lot of junk around here. Some of this close-in stuff is probably blocks that are inside the snow that I can't see, that I can't grind down, which is kind of annoying because it's a fairly large amount of stuff. But as you see, we have some stuff that has range 20,000 meters there, so that seems like it's probably one of the derelict ships. So I am going to, even though we don't have a scout ship, I'm just going to hop in the grinder ship and go check it out. This thing should easily have the range. We know we were flying back and forth 40 kilometers or so from the base. Well, I guess it's the welder ship I have. But we were flying back and forth from the base to our original wreck site. And that was like 35 or 40 kilometers. So we should easily be able to go 20. And I'm just kind of guessing. It said 11-degree azimuth, I believe. And that's probably somewhere around 11 degrees, and we're just gonna head off in about 20 kilometers at 11 degrees, and hopefully we'll actually spot it. So we're dead straight, and like I said, I'm just kind of guessing. That looks about right to me. So I'm just gonna fly on out there, and we will see what we see, I guess. Be kind of fun. I've never really been down to this part of the planet. I don't think we've really not explored anything outside of the immediate area surrounding the original wreck site, and even then we didn't do much exploration. And the probably like 5 kilometers right around that, 5 to 10 kilometers right around that base, like pretty much just before this ridge line that's right ahead. So I don't even know, at some point it seems like the snow has to end somewhere. I'd kind of like to find somewhere that's not snowy. So here we are, just kind of cruising higher altitude, trying to see if we see anything odd down on the surface, looking around. And I'm pretty sure over there to the right, yep, that's the wreck. So changing course, go take a look. I believe this is called the Anaconda on Steam, this particular wreck. And it's just I think it's a light escort ship. It's a neat design. Unfortunately, in the crash, it seems like the damage has been pretty extensive to it. I'm not sure we're gonna. If one of these is in good enough condition, I might build a ship but that's just like hydrogen thrusters, so we can lift this up to orbit again and repair it in orbit. But this one doesn't really have the size I would want for some sort of interplanetary exploration ship, and it's also very badly damaged, as you can see. It looks like it really took a wallop. Like I don't know how big it was originally. I don't remember. I think it's a pretty short ship. It doesn't look like it could really be that easily converted to atmospheric flight as a cargo ship, and it doesn't really look like it would be that useful as a interplanetary base ship. So there's some sort of yellow small ship over there too. It must have had an escort or something, like a fighter maybe, and some sort of debris there. There's a lot of little craters and stuff around here too. I guess stuff must have gotten destroyed as it hit the ground. So it looks like it has a decent number of weapons. There's probably ammunition and fuel that we can salvage from it. The steel is less useful to do. I will probably fill up all of the cargo bays on this the cargo containers on this ship. I'm gonna have to manually grind everything down because I only have the welder ship with me. Just let's see what this is. There's really no way to know what that was. I think that actually might have been one of the ships. I might have used that. That might be one of my ships from my original series. Like, I think that might have been my mining ship from the original series. Part of a walkway or something there. It looks like a few programmable blocks. Don't know what those did. I'm sure there was something automated on something at some point. And let's see if we can look at the wreck. I always feel a little nervous being around these kind of things because it's easy to get squished between debris and ship and die, and we're pretty far out. Yeah, there's a missile on the ground. Looks like some useful stuff. Doesn't look like there's going to be a way to get inside of the wreck easily. I guess we'll have to get the ship and land on the top or something. What is that? I think that's a text panel. Looks like there's a command seat. I don't think this ship used any modded parts. I think it was a vanilla Steam Workshop ship. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to hop in this ship and go land on the hull. Well, let's go over here first, I guess. Yeah, the whole bottom of the ship is super wrecked. I don't even know what it's supposed to look like. The nice thing about these steam ships is, of course, if I have the blueprint, I can slap a projector on, and if we do want to repair one, we could do it that way. Oh, I saw uranium on the ground there. So definitely get some free uranium out of it. Let's see if we can see if there's anything in the cargo. Well, this is all just control stuff I'm doing here. Looks like, yeah, there's ammo and uranium, and that looks like it's about it for cargo. But it's a decent amount of uranium. That's actually going to be pretty nice. So definitely do want to salvage that and take that home. And the ammo's nice too, because I don't have a lot of components to build ammunition right now. Not that there's any threats that we've discovered. Like I said, there doesn't seem to be a pirate base within comms range, so I don't think the drones actually can go very far after that. So I think they have to stay within antenna range. So if there is a pirate base, I think it's far enough away that it's no threat to us. So I'm going to mark this GPS point as another wreck site. So we'll come back here. And like I said, I'm going to take some time here, I think, and make sure we fill up the cargo containers on this ship before we head back. But let's go land and see if we can get to the bridge, wherever that is. It looks like the bridge is probably on the back part there. A lot of glass on top. Doesn't look like they're mostly windows, actually. There's just, they are windows, but I don't think they actually go inside. I think it's just for aesthetic purposes more than being able to see outside. This thing actually does look like it would be a pretty good raider if you're taking out some of those civilian ships, but I think it only has light armor on it for the most part, so I don't know. So I don't know where the original door was to this ship at all. I have no clue. So I think we're gonna have to make our own way in. if there's a door on the back or anything. Nope. Have to fix some of this stuff just to be able to walk around. I do like the whole effect of the armor getting warped. It's annoying sometimes because you can't find the spot you're supposed to actually weld, but yeah, like that one is like, who knows? I heard it weld for a second. There it goes. Like how was that a square block? There's still no way in. And I'm stuck. No. Well, now my ship is up there too. Well, we'll pick up the uranium, I guess. But yeah, my ship is stuck up there. So we're gonna have to steal some. The good thing is there's plenty of steel lying around. We can make a little ramp out of something. If I can ever grind anything, this is what I was just talking about. That was a big piece of wreckage for one little corner block. At least that one I could kind of tell where it was. Alright, so we'll just build a little ramp. This will be handy for future access anyway. Physics on that don't really make much sense, but whatever. Kind of glad the ramp is fully attached to the ship instead of being in the ground, because it means it probably won't explode. One thing I noticed while I was here grinding down this some of the ship is that it seems like we're at a part of the planet where the sun actually never sets at all. I was here for quite a while, and I think we're near the pole enough that the sun seems to just circle around us all the time. It's kind of unnerving. It never really gets fully light. It never really gets fully dark. It's weird over here. And there's no tilt to the orbit, so we don't have seasons or anything, so it's just like always like that here. Guess we'll just take out some glass and get in or something, one of these side panels. Of course, there's more stuff in the way, man. It's always very mysterious to me how certain blocks make it through completely unscathed and then everything else around them is just wrecked. Like the giant hole in the middle of the bridge with this chair is like, nah, I'm fine, don't worry about it. I guess it's just that whole... I think armor actually pushes on other stuff sometimes too. I don't know if armor getting distorted destroys stuff. It's a good idea to leave like a little secondary false hull, like an air gap between armor. I don't know. Alright, let's see if we can get power to this thing and get any information about it at all. Yeah, power's up, I guess. Not gonna fly, though. It's a pretty cool ship. It's a little hard to tell what it looked like, but you can tell it was a neat little ship. So, anyway, I am going to begin a salvage operation out here. I probably should, like, build a dedicated salvage ship, because I did build quite a few of these. I think there's at least 3 or 4 in the vicinity, ships that have crashed down, and it would be nice to take all the resources back, salvage one of them, maybe actually, like I said, get it back up into orbit if it's a good ship. And I am going to end it here for today. When we come back, we're going to be working more on the mining ship, because there's a lot left to do on that. There's really quite a lot that needs to be done. I need to get it flight worthy, because I'm having to right now use these small ships to bring cargo back, like iron and stuff, and I can only do like a pretty limited amount at a time. It's annoying. It would be nice to just bring that back and unload the entire ship at once, but that's going to take a lot of fuel to get something that big and heavy flying, so we'll have to figure that out. So I will catch you next time. Thank you for watching.